Make way for your own happiness. In human nature, the pursuit of happiness is instilled. This was talked about in ancient philosophy. Aristotle defined happiness as a relative thing whose source is not to be in external but in spiritual values that flow from virtues. Thus, the concept of happiness differs from person to person. For a sick man, the greatest happiness would be to heal. For him who is poor, to get rich. One of the greatest philosophers of antiquity thought that one should think carefully and wisely about one's desires and possibilities, that one should not give up high goals. According to him, what is crucial is the aspiration of man to optimally utilize his potentials. The question is, how much do we really strive to achieve our potential and ultimately be happy? The most common answer to the question of why we are not happy is that circumstances did not work for us or that other people got in our way. Most often, we do not realize our own responsibility, because it would be painful for us. Often, we are not even aware that some of our actions and habits actually stand in the way of realizing our happiness. What are some behaviors that block our ability to be happy? Happiness doesn't come from wealth, but wealth can come from happiness. We learn from past. Living in the past, it's a failure method. If you darken, it will be dark. If you lighting, it will be light. Means it is up to you. Every day and morning of life, if you start with this simple thought in your mind, today wherever I go I will create peaceful, loving and joyful world. God grant me serenity to accept things that I cannot change, courage to change things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Striving for perfection or perfectionism. Some people are prone to a long preoccupation with details, overthinking about the future. They set high goals for themselves, and when they achieve them, there is no satisfaction for their achievement. Consequently, there is no sense of happiness arising from the desire or goal realized. In doing so, there is no presence in the present. Life goes through them in their constant pursuit of being perfect without giving themselves the opportunity to enjoy and rejoice in their goals. Rumination. It implies a tendency to be filled with negative thoughts, critical self-talk, while constantly analyzing everyday situations in the smallest detail. Thus, rumination directly blocks every step towards happiness and a sense of satisfaction. This behavior contributes to the development and maintenance of depression, and if you recognize it in yourself, seek support and assistance to eradicate it. Delay. Most people tend to procrastinate from time to time. That is, delaying decision-making and taking specific actions. This does not have to be a nuisance if you consciously delay making a specific decision in order to gather the strength and sufficient information to realize it. However, in the case of the so-called chronic procrastination, that is, a stubborn habit of delaying most of your commitments and decisions to tomorrow, and tomorrow to tomorrow again, then there is a problem. Then you are the biggest obstacle on your way to happiness. This kind of behavior has the function of protecting us from the pain of loss and failure if we took some action that would infamously end. The result is the delay and the hope that the problem will be solved on its own or solved by someone else. It would be a good idea to take responsibility for your own life and give yourself the opportunity to be happy. For starters, take a small step by reducing thought and story, and taking concrete steps by making a decision that you won't leave for tomorrow, by striving to achieve a small goal, after which you will feel happy and be content with yourself. Let others take care of their life. Do more with your own life. Take a peek inside yourself and try to embrace all your virtues and disadvantages. When it comes to your loved ones, you can simply ask them to explain their motives. If it is not about the people you are close to, do not waste your precious energy and time trying to understand the reasons and motives of their actions. This will not make you any profit. On the contrary, you will be at a loss, spending both your time and your psychological energy. Instead of "I have to let it be, I won't," find a dormant children's curiosity in you and start your own adventurous spirit. Encourage yourself and move forward, step by step. Keep the goals that you set realistic and achievable. And if you do not have the realistic ability to change something, then accept it. Come to terms with it. Acceptance avoids the frustration and negative emotions that result from it. Remember that man's nature is such that he is driven by desires. And again, there are opportunities to be enthusiastic, to be brave, and to lead yourself to experience new happiness. Happiness is not a product of circumstances, but of how we make sense of situations in our lives. Accepting the existing and not demanding the impossible are the first steps in avoiding unhealthy feelings. Still, that doesn't mean we're happy. Happiness implies rational, logical and pragmatic contact with reality, other people and ourselves. Since we cannot change people, we must accept them. However, we can influence our own change. Accepting yourself as a flawed human being, with virtues and flaws, instead of nurturing a sublime and all-powerful self-image, leads to a significant reduction in tension. After self-acceptance, and in order to achieve long-term happiness, one must work towards realizing one's personal potential. The desire to be the best we can be, instead of demanding to be the best in the world, is the right recipe for happiness. When we accept ourselves, give up, and commit ourselves to the desire for personal growth and development, it is useful to make a plan for achieving the attainable goals. One of the most common failures of people who have not achieved a sense of harmony and satisfaction is to passively wait for something to happen, change their circumstances, or make someone else happy. On the other hand, even those individuals who do not wait passively for beautiful things to happen, often fail to make a plan for achieving the goals they are pursuing. All the potential difficulties of this type can easily disappear if we rethink ourselves and balance the ways in which we design the world, other people and ourselves. I'm going to add this: it's about good luck. I came to greet you. My name is Happiness and I am an integral part of life, the lives of those who believe in the power of love and life, those who believe that love is infinite. And you know I'm married? I got married long ago for time, and it is your responsibility to solve many problems that seem overwhelming and hopeless at first. It builds hearts and personality, heals wounds and overcomes grief. Time and I have 3 children together. Our children are friendship, wisdom and love. Friendship is the oldest child, beautiful, sincere, cheerful and smiling. It brings people closer, without hurting anyone but comforting anyone they approach by holding his hand. Wisdom is our second child. She is smart, with solid principles and constantly learns and is interested in everything. She is most similar to her father, Time. You can imagine what it's like when the two of them walk together, wisdom and time. The youngest is Love. How much work with her. She is stubborn, persistent and upturned, so sometimes she wants to live in one place and then after a while she remembers and says that she was created to live in 2 hearts, not just one. My Love is a very complex and complicated person, so she knows how much recklessness to do and just what she does. Sometimes people know how to make her selfish. When that happens, I have to call her father. Time comes and tries to repair the wounds his daughter Love caused, and often wisdom comes in handy, though not in all cases of great use with all her wits. One person once told me, in the end, everything comes into its own, one way or another. If things haven't worked out yet, it means we're not on our right track yet. So, I say to you, trust my family, my husband Time and my children Friendship, wisdom and love. If you trust them, know that luck will someday knock on your door. P.S. Don't be selfish, together and hateful. Be tolerant and loving for everyone, and never forget to smile.